Hey guys, welcome to another For Honor video. This is a pretty exciting video. This is Marching Fire. A closer look at the Jiang Jun and the Nuxia. I can't say that name, but I still mess it up. But these are a closer look on these two characters, as well as the new arcade mode that's coming out. So without further ado, let's get into it. And let me know your thoughts and your comments down in the obviously in the comments, and hit me with a like or a subscribe if you enjoyed.
We're mounting all the outfits that we have on these guys, and they are taking very well the player expression, all the outfits that we have. So this is something that is pretty cool. Let's check it out in the game.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Go back.
There. Yeah, let's one over. There you go.
Here.
I like the whole interface too. The interface is pretty dope.
At the beginning, he used
I can't believe they have
pretty
one U in this game, bro.
Heavier.
Yeah,
We actually
right.
started with a very heavy character.
Yeah.
Like Shugoki levels of heavy?
Almost.
No,
Almost.
no,
It was.
no.
I compare it. It wasn't pretty that heavy.
He was not that heavy, but
But then, like the movement that he was doing was
Yeah.
so fast, it didn't actually fit with the animation. So we had to lose his belly.
a diet.
Yeah.
You put him on a diet.
Yeah.
It's a successful one.
great. Yeah, look
He's
at it. It looks
looking,
great.
He's
Good for
looking
you.
strong. You know, he's got some weight, but you feel that he can swing his Guandao.
A
You
little
know.
bit of back problem.
Yeah. That's right. I like the shininess that we have there on the cloth.
Yeah, there's a lot of detail.
It's
there.
looking. It's a nice balance.
Even just like the wrinkles of the cloth too. Oh wow.
This is the more military version of Guan Yu. So Team Color is
It
coming
looks
out
like
strong on this
Cao's
one.
brother.
Oh, and he's got the plume that the players always want. Good for you. Thank you for throwing that in there.
It's very successful.
It's more of a strap.
It is more of a strap, that's true, but it's in a plume
It's a
spot.
floating
so
in
we'll,
element.
it's close enough, I hope, for our players.
Let's check this third one.
Nice. So this is a variation on the first set, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. So you have those little symbols on the cloth.
I'm
that is
definitely
complementary
fanning
to
out
the
because,
metal
you
that he
know,
has on the,
me being
on the
somebody who's
chest and,
definitely
on
played
the
a lot of
shoulders.
Dynasty Warriors, you know, to have these characters in here is pretty dope. And
I think players
Romance
will
of the
have
Three Kingdoms
fun
is
putting the
also a
player
good game.
expression on the
Yeah,
Wuling heroes.
it's awesome
Oh,
having
definitely.
these
Because
characters in the
each
game.
time, you know, we tackle a new heroes, new factions, or even on the previous sets, it's we're trying to understand and do better what we did so far, and we're trying to, hey, let's do better. What
Yeah,
did we
let's
do
push it
wrong? How
forward.
can we push it forward? And it's always it's a good challenge.
In it. The concept of the character is she used to be a bodyguard. She used to be a bodyguard of a mighty. Stop doing that. Of a mighty
Stop doing
Wooling
that.
general, and her general got betrayed. She took revenge on all of their enemies, and then she had to flee China.
Nuxia,
So that's why
that's
she
how you
arrived
say it.
in the world of
Nuxia,
For Honor.
I believe that's
That's
the
a
right
little
way
bit
to say it.
quickly.
So finally, I know
Backstory
how to say it.
of the Nuxia.
Nuxia.
The important thing with that character is that she's fighting with dual hook swords. And as you're gonna see, those weapons have a huge part in the playstyle of the character. First, as I was saying, she's an assassin type of character, so neutral stance.
I forgot who the Mortal Kombat character was that
really
used
dodgy
these.
and fast
which is horrible,
characters.
but-
Like all characters, she has a set of light navy attacks.
I think there's actually two that use hook swords.
Chains. One thing that is cool with the heavy attack chain is that if you successfully land the last heavy in the chain, you can repositionate your opponent depending on the direction of battle.
I'm throwing you everywhere, sir. I'm throwing you everywhere.
That's a nice thing of the character.
Oh god.
Yes, that's all those nice tricks. Also, it's a character. Since she's an assassin, she has a deflect, so maybe you want to set your opponent to attack you. That deflect.
Oh, what did she say? She said, "Yo, mama can't read."
No pressure, Alex. Nobody's watching.
See what I'm saying?
Nice.
She said all
Okay,
types
so
of profanities
that's
right
the
there.
basis of the character. But that character has one thing to add on top of that, is that she has a mechanic that's called trap. And basically, if you're
Let's see
trying
what this
to block
trap's
a
about.
heavy attack, she can cancel those heavy attacks and grab your weapon, open your guard, and land a free attack into that. So that's really interesting because the only way to not get hit by that, to protect yourself, is to not. It's either to not block, like for example, Alex is trying not to do it on a direction that the boat is not guarding, or to attack. So it's a character that forces
That's
you
nuts. That is
take the
absolutely nuts.
advantage,
So
that
you can't
try
block.
to take the advantage, because if you don't, then she
They
cannot
finally did it.
and it's also, of course, really useful.
Those boys at
to
For Honor
fight
finally
solo,
did it.
because as an external attacker, as a backstabber, that's really useful also. So she's a simple character in the sense that there is not many more things around. As, then you can see Alex will be fighting a bit more with her. There's a little bit more depth to the character, but really, that's
That
the
reflex
top
guard is
concept of
instant.
The character. It's a
Like,
simple assassin.
it's instantly
Simple
gone.
chains, light, heavies, dodge attack, deflect, and that trap mechanic where you can cancel any heavy attack into doing that. Meaning that if you're in your chain, you can use it, and it's pretty useful.
So she messes your block routine basically.
Exactly. She's not relying on
Mm.
super fast attacks to open.
Yeah.
And
That's
she also has it on her
it's
zone
crazy,
attack.
man. I gotta see what this is like,
Little trick.
you know, in game.
Oh,
If you try to block her zone attack, that's what will happen.
damn.
Unless
It's amazing. She hooks the sword onto the end of the other sword.
And so how does it work input-wise? You cancel it with a guard break?
yeah, you just have to press the guard break button
Yeah.
during the like at the startup of the heavy attack.
And so how does it behave if your opponent is trying to parry you?
It does the same thing. If you go in active parry, it will still grab you.
Maybe
So
you
the
can
only
show
way is
quickly-
to dodge or not block.
Yeah, maybe you can show quickly the move list of the character.
Yeah. Scroll through that puppy.
So we can see a little tease of the new menus, but we'll
Yes.
speak about that later on.
Max, can you remove that window, please?
Even if we are beautiful.
Your defense gotta be on point.
It's fine.
But if your opponent tries to parry you while you do that, then it's not gonna work. Because parrying is considered like an attack, so you're gonna go through. So she's forcing, by doing that, she's forcing a reaction when she tries to attack you. Because if you just try to parry, okay, maybe you can try to not block her, but then it's up to you, because if she was attacking you, then you
Then she lands, yeah.
so that's the really interesting mechanic of the character.
Oh,
And she has some nice.
good lordy.
Execution.
Are we
That's a
also
nice
seeing the
execution.
graphical updates here?
Yes.
It feels like it.
Yeah.
Just like the shadows
Yeah.
and the grass.
The new lighting and yeah.
It's not only for PC, right?
Oh no, it's for all
All
platforms.
platforms. Improve lighting.
It shouldn't. Just keep it on PC, bro.
That's good. Do just a little bit of a show like that. No, for real, just to give a little more of the people something to enjoy. Does she have any sort of sprinting attack or anything like that?
I think it's on light on her. Boom.
Nice.
The dodge light goes into the chain.
Mm.
Seize goes into the trap goes into the
So
chain.
like an unblockable PK.
Yeah.
Just her motions kind of look like that.
So that's the Nuxia.
I love
That's
it.
the basis of the character. And we'll of course show more of her as we get to release.
Oh yes.
And you will be able to play her
So
on October 16.
she's the assassins of the cast.
Yes.
because many
It's probably
people
the one that I don't like the most,
So
but I'll probably play her a little bit.
Jiang Jun is the
There he
hybrid
is.
of the Wulin. He's a mix between a Vanguard and a Heavy.
No, he's not,
And
Roman.
he's
What are you
fighting
talking
with
about?
That really iconic
You on some
weapon, long
drugs?
lens that's called a guandao. So it's a really heavy spear. And the character is really meant to be good in group fight scenario.
This
Sorry, did
man
you
is
say
a
he's
heavy.
hybrid?
Yes, he's a hybrid.
He's
No.
not a heavy?
I-
No, it's a mix between a
He
Vanguard
is
and a-
100% a heavy.
I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Where did he come up with this?
It just means we don't have a heavy.
Not yet.
Whoa!
And
Tatsy, tatsy.
and so in terms of backstory, he used to be a mighty general of the Wulin army. He fought for years on the battlefield, never lost a battle, has a lot of feat of strength to in his past, did a lot of things. And then
I like that. Dude.
went
that
a
again.
little bit off. But now he's back.
All right.
Because he's looking for a fight that he can't win. He's looking for a mighty opponent that will strike him down. And he doesn't believe that it exists actually. And so he's looking for that fight. So that's why he's exiting China and coming to the west of the world of Foreigner. It's to look for that battle that he might lost, or that opponent that might strike him down.
Cool.
So that's the Jiang Jun. So default of the character, the basis, when he locks, he has his stance that he can maintain. And all of his default attacks have a lot of range. Not only forward, but also on the sides. All of his attacks are almost zone attack, whether it's light or heavy attack.
Yeah, that is some
And he
wide
has a set of
lateral
simple chains.
slashes.
Light, heavy, heavy. And then the finisher.
Shinobi's
and
look out.
Where you want stance
Yeah.
and what type of attack you do, it will be different. But because those attacks are powerful and have the same type of properties as zone attacks, of course they cost a lot of stamina. And so the Jiang Jun has what we call
Sifu poise.
Sifu's poise. And it's when you go down on the D-pad, on the right stick, sorry, and you will go back to that Sifu stance. And when he does that, he regenerates really fast. His
Wait, do
stamina.
that one more time.
And so
How
it also
fast are we
gives him
talking, sir?
dodge, and it can
Okay.
also cancel the recoveries of his attack
So you don't need no type of
and
stamina
the startup.
regeneration
and the startup of the AVs.
gear stats.
So basically,
Even though the gear stats gonna be
one
different.
character
So
is about
never
doing
mind.
those attacks, mixing it with that stance in order to regenerate his stamina, go back into it, use it to feint you or dodge your attack, etc. So it's character that, like I was saying, that is really
This
strong
guy is a
in
beast.
group fights because he can clear multiple opponents and he has different ways that he can defend himself, can dodge, can block, and he can use Sifu's poise. So maybe you can show us a little bit the type of combos and chains that the character has.
He's quick for a big man.
Yeah. He's a master.
I think he may actually be better than a Nobushi, like, but I think, you know, he doesn't have the bleed, but like, just this motion,
Also,
just this right
He
here,
has dodge attack, so if you
looks
dodge,
ridiculous.
A, plus heavy attack, and his dodge attack goes much further away than normal dodge attack, so it allows him to dodge more easily, especially in a good scenario.
Although
there
I
are
don't
bits
think
so
that's the hidden,
that
that's not
anytime
hidden
during the dodge
stance,
attack,
that's just
You can cancel it with a light attack,
a
and it
backstep.
will attack in the opposite stance. So if you're dodging right with a heavy attack, you're gonna do a dodge attack on the right side. But if you do light at the end, instead of attacking right, you will attack left. So that
Oh,
allows
man.
you to bait your opponent. And it's a chain starter, so then you can continue.
Now I can use him because
Also, he has a
soft feint is what I
really
do.
cool guard break.
And he's just filled with so much
use
swag,
that
you know?
battle. And you can set your bot to attack you and show the parry and the type of reaction that he gets out of parry.
Oops. Yeah.
Because he has some really strong counter-attack moves. So he has a zone attack out of parry, but if you go guard break,
Yeah.
and it drains stamina.
Oh, so like scent. So he
So
has like a scent
He's a
type
really
of property
strong
there.
character in group scenario.
Oh,
He's really designed and made for that. He's a little bit weaker in 1v1 scenarios, but he's meant really to be the group fighter.
Also, we missed there's a cancel on his forward dodge AV, where you can kick.
Oh god.
So he has forward dodge AV, it allows him to catch opponent
Oh,
that
jeez.
will roll, and if the guy is waiting for you, with that move.
Nuts. That is nuts, bro.
But it's a move that is really easy to dodge, so it's need to.
I'm thinking it might be, well, I wanted Shaolin, right? I was like, oh, Tiandi and
Roman.
Shaolin,
Yes.
I
cool.
have an update for you,
Maybe
my friend.
Tiandi and
Yes.
Jiang Jun.
I had our
Jiang
fact
Jun.
checkers look into the heavy thing, and he is indeed a heavy and not a hybrid.
Yeah,
my
your
guy.
fact checker is more.
Wow! Wow! Alex, what is chat?
I think there is a debate.
I think this is super cool to see because now we've seen the fourth of the four Wuling that are coming with Marching Fire. It's cool to see the range of the four characters and how different all four of them are. It's really impressive, I think.
Wow.
They each have their own style.
Jiang Jun
and
is a
feel.
savage, confirmed.
He's just great.
I love playing with him personally.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is he
We
going to
play
replace
a
your
lot
Kensei?
with,
Pause.
And
I don't know
also,
if anyone could replace my Kensei, but he's really cool to play.
and also, what is really interesting with the character is that
You just got married, Damon.
His
You shouldn't be
feats-
saying things like this.
his feats are really dedicated toward supporting people fighting with him or trapping the opponents.
Oh.
So, for example, he has his second level 2 feat. One of the level 2 feats that you can select that's called Benefaction. It's when you go into his Sifu's poise. Not only he regenerates his own stamina, but also he pulse a regenerating stamina effect around him.
Ultimate.
So if you're fighting close to him, then you will regenerate your stamina while he's in that pose.
Very cool.
Also, his level 3 feat, he has an effect that will heal anybody around him, around him, and that healing effect will be stronger the more enemies are. So if you're in a group fight scenario like team fight 4v4 and you trigger it, you're gonna heal your whole team for a massive amount of HP. This last one called Fiery Barrage, it's actually really useful. It's an AoE that you place on an opponent and it will trigger a zone of fireworks around the opponent. And if you try to cross it, it will stun him, remove all of his stamina, etc. So it's really a tool to isolate an opponent in a group scenario. That's pretty useful against the king, for example, when you're in the attacking team.
So what you're saying is that he's a strong hero in Breach.
Yeah, he's a good hero in Beach, but he's a good hero in any group fight scenario, basically. So that's why he's more an hybrid than the AV, is that he has his toolkit is more toward supporting and healing his team.
You haven't shared any feats of the Nuxia.
Yes, that's true. The Nuxia, she's really a dual-oriented character, and so all of her specific feats are to reinforce that. Like for example, her first feat, it's Deadly Duot, and it's a passive, and it allows her to deal more damage when she's 1v1. So when you're in 1v1 scenario, when there is nobody, no other friendly or opponents in a perimeter around you, you will get a damage buff that you will see on your bar, and you will see the effect on your hands, the glow on your hands, and that's only for dual. She also has a bind, like a feed that she activates, and when she activates it on the enemy, he cannot sprint, he cannot run, he cannot roll. So basically, if somebody is trying to flee from you, you activate that. And he can still face you, log, dodge, etc. But he cannot try to
Get away.
escape, or he's gonna lose stamina next time, so you will be able to catch him. That's really the idea of the character. Our last feat called Infection, it's really powerful. It's basically you place it on an opponent, and if that guy has friends around him, they will all get some dots. And the more people there are around, the more dots and the more damage they will get. So it's really to try to break the group fights, forcing the opposing team to spread.
Super cool.
That's the concept really of the Nuxia. So she's really a dual character trying to pick one guy out of the enemy team, whereas the Jiang Jun is trying to
She's the opposite.
have all his friends around him, to buff them, heal them, regenerate their stamina, and use his AoE move to against the opposing team.
And we gave a good look on his move set as well. Just making sure. If not, let's do it now.
Yeah, sure.
We can cut back
I
Max.
love this execution.
Giving people the good stuff. They love this thing. A lot of moves.
Good? Yeah.
A lot of moves.
Very strong character.
Cool. Well, guys,
Well, that's it for those two fighters.
To be honest, it's hard to pick a favorite in those four
I
characters.
know.
It's really hard.
They all have
Yeah.
a lot going for them. I like it. I like it a lot. And maybe someday soon people will get to try them out. I don't know.
Who knows?
But that is not all, friends. We have more to show from Marching Fire, and we can do it right now.
Yes.
So let's check out our new mode, Arcade.
Arcade.
Can somebody give me a real challenge? Bring it on!
Look at that.
Hey, hey!
Hey!
Arcade
Do they see what we see?
They don't.
You
No.
should, Max, show them.
Max,
because
come
it's
on.
amazing.
You're killing me.
It's
I'm
our
dying. I'm literally dead.
it's our
Just
it's
cut.
our new main menu.
Please,
Show it. The
Max.
new landing page of Foreigner.
please cut.
And marching.
There it
Look
is.
at that. Woohoo! It's so good. And in fact, it's showing one of your hero. So whoever, if you have customized it and it's random, it's purely random. So here apparently we haven't customized the Chendi.
Yeah, it
but
shows the
it's
current
really
state of your
cool.
roster.
You see the new news. It's really celebrating our heroes. I love our new menu.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see on the top screen, you have some placeholder images and things like that because it's a Gamescom demo.
Right.
So some stuff are still very much work in progress.
Yep.
but you can see how the game will look like. Little tease in October.
So I kind of like that.
Yeah, we
Is
can
it
also
like
show
your
the hero
most
grid.
played hero or something?
So we will, because he will select a hero.
Yes, right in the arcade.
So let's go in this new
Spoilers, you select heroes in
arcade.
arcade. Yeah, okay.
So we have 5 type of quests. So before going to the details,
Yeah,
what
high level here.
what is arcade? Roman, do you want to say what is arcade?
So Arcade is a new PvE experience in For Honor. It has been developed by Studio Gobo in Brighton.
Again.
the Go
So,
Bro.
The same guys that did maps for the past 4 seasons now. That did the new trials, the arena. Now they delivered for us the arcade mode. And basically, arcade, it's sorry, I had my hand on the
Yeah.
microphone.
And it's the past 2 seasons.
No,
No, see.
2? Okay, 2 seasons.
Yes.
Sorry. And arcade, it's like I was saying, it's a PvE experience. It's you in the main menu, you select a quest, and inside that quest, you have a series of battle, and each battle is different. It's in different place against different opponents, and you will have modifiers.
Yeah.
Whether your attack always deal bleed damage, or you're on fire and so you have a limited time to accomplish the battle, or your opponent has
Well, this
3
gear
times
stats
the
over
number,
here is
the
kinda- gear
normal
rank.
amount of HP. Or this
Okay,
kind of thing.
because yeah, gear stats
There
should be
is
done.
a lot of different
Even though
modifiers,
it says
more
gear
than
stats
20 or
on-
30, applied either to the opponents or to the players, and they are different every time you play an adventure.
Yeah, it'd be nice
Last
to start
thing
from
is
scratch.
arcade is also available in co-op,
Yes.
so you can
Hopefully
play with
that's
your friends.
a thing.
That's really cool.
That's pretty nice.
And as we can see, you have 5 different choices. So this is based on the gear you have.
Mhm.
The better the gear, the more difficult it is, depending on in which quest you go.
If I could
Yes,
just
yes,
interrupt you, because
yes.
you said this is a work in progress UI-wise.
Yeah.
It says gear stats are on. That is no longer a thing in March.
Exactly.
So
This
Forget
is not
that line.
replaced yet. It should
Should say
be.
perks
It should
on.
say perks
Yeah.
on, because perks will be
correct.
also
Available.
working in arcade.
Yep.
So yes, so you need to have a recommended gear rank before joining into one of those quests. So let's say I'm a newcomer, or I want to play with a new hero. I should go into the gray one, the common quest. This will be the most accessible one. I can try the rare one, the blue one, but if I do so, it will be pretty hard, because you
You'll get your ass kicked.
you have some handicap based on, or bonuses based on the gear you have, if you have better or worse gear than what is the gear recommended. And if you go into legendary with gray gear, you will get completely destroyed, one hit killed, and deal very, 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 very small.
I'm
amount of
excited
damage.
when this is out to see
So,
the videos of people doing
Yeah,
that.
trying to do that. Yeah.
But all your characters are shared between PvP and arcade.
Yeah. This
So
is
you
very
select the
important.
same character, you have the same gear. Any reward that you get into arcade
Works in PvP
works
and
in
vice
PvP.
versa.
It's
Yeah.
the same character. It's not like campaign where it was 2 different progression with different
Yeah.
rosters of heroes. Here it's the same roster, same heroes, the heroes that you've unlocked in
Yeah.
PvP. You can play them in arcade. You equip them with gear, etc. It's same progression.
Was it a little moment for you back in season 5 when we did the special event mode? That was a
Question
PvE
metal,
mode,
yeah.
yeah. Was it a little moment where you're like, aha, I guess people are interested in this type of gameplay?
We were already
Working
we already
on
started
arcade.
Gobo, and again shout out to the team at Gobo, because really when you're gonna see it's really cool. But they already started working on that. It was early, so it was like, cool, it works. People seem to like it. Okay,
Good.
you're gonna see it's even bigger and better than what that game mode was. But yes, it's a follower.
Cool.
So reward-wise, you gain, as Roman said, the same type of rewards done in PvP. So you get loot, you gain XP, you gain steel. You can also deploy troops. You will earn troops that will be automatically deployed to your war banner.
So if I want to, I can do all my progression.
Yeah, you can. And you
Cool.
can also, let's say today you have only 10 minutes and you don't want to go into a PvP match, or you can go for arcade, or you can spend 2 hours and try to beat a harder difficulty ones. It really depends on your mood and what you want to do.
You're missing a little bit of XP on the character to level him up.
Yeah.
Go and do a quick encounter.
XP boost is working there, so all the systems are working there. And you have some exclusive cosmetic loots that is also available for arcade mode that you can't get elsewhere. A bit like we do in tournaments, so you have chances to loot those, a bit like we do in ranked.
Cool. All right. Well, let's check it out. I want to see it in action.
So the first difficulty is pretty easy. It should be a piece of cake for Alex. Should be. Even if he plays blindly.
Yes, and we have a look here at the new
here
grid.
you can see that he has the recommended gear with any type of hero. We can see, as you said, the new grid. Look at those handsome heroes, splits per faction.
Which one should I take?
Wulin 1. Your favorite Wulin. This way you warm up.
So there are still some glitch and bug in the menu, as you
course.
see. You are able to select your fit. There's no fit in arcade.
There is a story arc, so we just saw a narrative page. So
each quest has its own story.
Yeah,
cool. You can see the little modifier.
Give a little bit of context to what you're doing.
All right. Let's see if Alex can make it happen.
So here, as you can see, there are some traps.
So maybe you can show quickly the modifiers.
So you can use those.
Yeah, you can see that.
In the start menu.
Yeah, show off those modifiers.
It cannot be unbalanced.
On start.
Yeah,
on
press
start menu.
start. Yeah.
There we go.
So match.
Modifiers. Detail.
Boom.
So here you can see that you have a shield that regenerates, and you cannot unbalance your enemy.
Yeah.
And this screen can also be accessed very quickly with the same button as the scoreboard, whenever you want.
With the back button.
Yep.
So that's a really easy quest.
Yeah.
It's a grey one. It's really an entry-level quest. You don't need any gear to be at the correct level of difficulty. If you have better gear, of course, it's going to be even more easy to do. But it's really an entry-level quest. So grey gear, easy difficulty. Should be really fast. And the thing is, each quest is different. Every time you launch a quest.
So even the same narrative quest could be different.
There's going to be different and random elements in each quest.
Yeah.
The maps, the arena, the modifiers, the boat that you're facing, every time is different. So you can do the same grey quest 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and it's going to be every time a different experience.
Yeah, because we have different story arcs that tell different type of stories, and then when the system picks a story, then he generates randomly which map, which heroes, which modifiers that could be played following the rules established by the story.
Cool.
So are you being challenged right now? Or?
He did die while you were talking. But
I was listening.
yeah, he was just enraptured by
So the modifier detail page is also something you can access during the loading moment.
I like that emote.
Which is also useful for the players that try to prepare themselves.
Are you a player that prepares himself?
Yeah, always. I like to anticipate what's going on.
I don't believe that.
So
based on how you prepare for the Warriors,
here,
then
for example, we can check right away that okay, your opponent has no modifiers.
And every time he's going to land the heavy attack, the opponent is going to fall. So here it's really an easy
Bye bye.
Are you triggering those emotes?
And so
like an end flow
each
thing?
battle is a chapter. You have only 4 chapters on the lowest difficulty, But the higher
that number can
difficulty
change.
you
Yeah.
go, the more chapters you will get.
Yeah.
Right.
So in Legendary, you have 6 chapters.
Oh, 1v2.
Ah, and look who's
Oh,
there!
He's got
Our old
Godmunder
buddy.
in there.
Is it Goodmunder?
Goodmunder.
Good mother.
Good Munder. So sometimes we reuse some of those also in arcade. So he's dealing,
I
the
just hope
warden
it's
is
tough.
dealing less
I think it's
damage.
difficult.
And I didn't check what Good Munder is doing.
Oh my god.
So all the
Very
traps,
stamina.
even if there is ledges or not in the map, etc., that is part of the arena, and that can change
Yeah.
between the
Yeah.
battles.
So like if you get this story again, there's not necessarily that fire trap right
And
there.
it's not necessarily that arena, and it's not necessarily that world.
And even that time of day.
Yeah.
Take that, Good Mundo.
Revenge!
So there is revenge. Perks are active as well.
Bad Munder is more like it. Oh, man. he's still going. I should have timed that better.
Quest
Bad
with
Munder is
the-
more like it.
With the blood, it's a bit scary. It's like, I'm not sure I want to see that.
Yes, that is our.
I was about
And
to say
then
something.
at the end of the quest, so we cut here because two screens are still work in progress, and Damien don't want to show you too much ugly stuff.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
you get XP, like you
You
were
get-
saying.
you get all the
XP,
rewards.
You get loot. You
And-
get your war assets. You get your troops to deploy for the faction war, and some potential exclusive rewards.
And for the first time, we do something new on arcade. Is that the amount of reward you get is also based on the time you spent. So if you retry a lot because it's very hard,
have
you
a
will
hard
get
time.
more reward. We take that also a bit into account to not punish players that try more challenging ones and die a lot in a row, because it's also a game mode based a lot on die and retry until you figure out the right strategy based on the modifiers you play with. So what do we play right now?
Well, I was
Alex?
just going to ask if we
it
could show one of the
started by
harder
itself.
ones,
Okay.
just to see how intense it can be. Did you already
So-
select one?
We will do. Do you want to do a legendary? I think with non-progress hero is impossible.
No.
Maybe you could do a blue or a purple.
Perp. Get that
Purple.
perp. Oh, the perp's locked.
Yeah, it's locked in the Gamescom demo. Do the blue, and then we'll do the yellow one.
Beautiful.
Lex Talionis, as the sole survivor of the siege castle. Blah, blah, blah.
You're hunting down.
So here you can see,
The nemesis.
wait, you can see that the gear you're selecting, so if you go back to loadout 1, you can see that the game is telling you, oh, you have a gray equipment, might not be good for you.
Yeah, what?
Then we have on the second loadout, we have better gear, so then it's recommended. Could you try to do it with the non-recommended gear?
The gray one?
Just to see
Yeah,
how much you
just
kick
to
your
show.
ass.
How harder it gets.
Boiling blood. Time to make them
And
pay.
then we on higher difficulty, it's only bot level 3, it's only things like that also come into play. We use more modifiers as well in higher difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
So
Like we tried the
Oh boy.
So here starts, you're bleeding,
Oh,
and
boy.
your opponent has a shield.
Oh boy.
You're gonna see it's not gonna deal that much damage.
and sometimes, as you can see, there are soldiers on the map. We have archers as well that can hit you at distance, which is very
Oh, I
painful.
guess I know what I'll be doing.
And see, he's already dealing a lot of damage.
Oh boy.
right in the
And executing you,
More.
and hopefully
I'm
taunting
taking
you.
that as a challenge.
Et voilà!
and we tried the
Learn the hard way.
We tried the legendary one with no gear and everything one shots you.
Yeah. So here you're one rarity above, so you start having tougher modifiers, but also you don't have the right gear, so it makes the whole
Yeah.
thing much harder.
Yeah, you have 0 gear.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
could have gray gear that is better,
Yeah,
and
and
you won't have that much
of a difference. Yeah.
negative.
I like though, as it gets harder the modifiers are more creative, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Really-
there are more modifiers.
But levels are stronger as well.
There's different combination of modifiers also at a different difficulty level. If you kill some minions, you're gonna regenerate life.
Oh, he's almost
Because
dead.
you're
Oh,
bleeding
God,
out
you're
of
bleeding.
death.
Oh, God.
Who
Oh.
does that?
Oh, God.
Should have read them more.
Bleed to
first.
death,
HP
HP
on
on
kills.
kills.
Hello.
So every time you kill. So,
So in
here-
fact, the soldiers here are
Part
a
of
good
the
tool
strategy.
for you. Yeah. And I wouldn't kill half of them at the beginning when I'm full
Yeah, but
life,
at the-
but it's an interesting strategy.
No backseat fighting.
At the
game
same
here.
time, you don't want them to hit you.
Yeah, it's a dilemma.
Yeah, and you are dealing pretty low damage to this guy,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, so it's
You were
part
gonna
of the
chip
gear
away.
difference. So yeah, this is well played. Now
I like it, though. I like that it has that element of when you load it up, there's the split second of like, ah, shit. Like when you see what the modifiers are of your opponent. I like that moment of momentary panic. And maybe that's just me. Maybe that's how I live my life.
little revenge for the fun.
No.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Too bad.
So this is, and maybe you can redo it, but with the right gear, just to show the difference.
Or maybe a much
wait,
better
I think
gear.
I can.
Yeah.
It's gonna load a different one.
Yeah,
it's
but you
it's
can-
okay if
same
it's a
place,
different
not,
one,
not the same
but
encounter, but
just
the
to show,
different.
and this way we'll see the randomness
Yeah.
of it
Yes.
as well.
Oh, I like this.
And just the first encounter. Again.
Yeah, do blue with blue. This way we see that what is part of the gear difference and what is part of the
The list.
difficulty.
Blue with blue.
I like that.
Blue with blue.
It's the name of the Damien Keegan jazz album. Blue with blue.
Two quits, no? Ah non,
No.
ah non, t'as fait play new quest. Ok. Nice. The saboteurs. As you approach one of the hideouts, you meet some resistance and deadly traps. So will we have traps on the maps?
Let's see.
Hopefully. I cross fingers.
Ooh.
So you regenerate a shield. The berserker is dealing more damage, and the gladiator is dealing more chip damage. So here, as you can see, you are dealing more damage than before, and she should
Wow.
deal less.
Okay.
There are some captains sometimes as well. And you can see that we have the little objective icon on top of the enemies you need to kill to win that chapter. So you don't have to kill the captain. It could be part of your strategy, but you don't have to kill the captain to win the
But I like that part of
chapter.
her strategy was
Yeah.
to draw you into the captain. That's brutal.
So if you block, he still deals you some damage.
So as you can see, same playlist, first encounter,
Totally different.
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
And yes, no traps. We're still tweaking how the
Maybe there are
narrative
some
is,
traps
Oh,
behind.
dude.
how
It's a
the narrative
beast.
is
We
split.
didn't went on the whole map.
I see a difference between the TND
Got
and
him.
the.
Because also we
Dude.
try to not have everything everywhere on the map. So sometimes you need to drag an enemy at a specific place if you want to use a ledge or if you want to use a trap. So it's also part of the strategy. So, and as you can see, in blue difficulty you have 5 chapters and not 4.
Yeah, and not
So it's also part
we're
of the
gonna stop
things
right
that,
here.
that
Yes.
change. And I think show the modifiers just for fun, and we'll stop there. So she burns to death. She deals more damage when she's low HP, which is interesting because the more she loses health by herself, the more damage she will deal.
So she's
And-
on fire.
And you're having less stamina. You're costing more.
You know, you could say you
Eric
could call
Pope
her a
with the
flamin'
with the
shaman.
corniness.
I like it.
But yeah. Thank you guys for stopping by. Hit me with a
Et
like,
voilà.
subscribe. You know the
Nice
deal.
way to end this
Means a whole lot for
arcade
you
demo.
showing
We'll
support.
have more
Helps
to
me more
review.
than you know.
Oh yeah, about it, of course.
And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
500 on my bitch CarMax. 100 run sound, running through all. I want a new belt, I'm not looking at CarMax.
Oh yeah, see what I mean?
Yeah.